Hello, good morning, good evening, and welcome back to our channel today. And we are going to talk about the Morsels. This is my review of the alien roguelike that combines like something in the middle between the blending of Isaac and I say Pokemon. I don't know. There is a okay. Let's dive deep into it. The Fursula is Y-shaped bone found primarily in the birds, but also in some dinosaurs. So they are direct ancestors. It's a fundamental evolutionary structure originating with the Jurassic creatures and preserved throughout the evolution. It is crucial for flight, strengthening the front of the thorax and facilitating the movement of wings. No, we haven't landed on the superquark, but this definition is important because Furcula is also the name of the developer behind the Morsels. This is the bizarre roguelike in which create evolution is the basis of the one core mechanics. Morsels is the game that sparks and speaks about its own alien language, mixing one of the genre's greatest exponents. As I mentioned before, the blindings of Isaacs with the acid fluid version of the Pokemon. And yes, it's an eye-opening because the first attempts to understand the game abstract and formula are hilarious. And then, little by little, the Canadian studio title keeps you with this constant jumble of visual and sensory stimuli of every kind. It must be admitted that Annapurna Interactive and Fortuna certainly haven't chosen easy ground for the Morsels to land. Roguelikes are such a genre, recently seeing the arrival of the masterpieces like Hades and Absolute, capable of engaging players of hundreds of hours in the context-rich loops. So why would they choose to embark on another similar adventure? The answer is simple, because it's not similar at all. Morsels has a unique take on and genre that we assure you never experience anything else. In Morsels, even the story out of this world. One day on the planet, every similar to Earth cards arrive from the space that allow those who collect them to transform into the alien creatures, the Morsels. Some of the rarest and the powerful cards end up in the hands of the group of cats who embody some of the worst human characteristics: hedonism, unbridled capitalism, and anything else that's really connected to that. So, well, as you know, below in the sewers, a little mouse spots our the covered cards and decides to take over using the morals. I mean, I don't know, is that moral or morsel? I say morsel. Morsels. Yeah, to travel the sewers, the city, and then up into the sky to defeat the evil villains one by one. This is how every game of Morsels begins, with a crooked little mouse leaving his lair and chasing the cart. He's accompanied by a huge blown slime we can hug before the X expedition. In the layer, there's also a dumble that represents the difficulty selector, a very welcome and not trivial addition in the roguelike, and a photo of album we can browse to check our game stats and the morsels were encountered. Once ready, we pick up the card, choose the creature to start with, and climb up the stairs. Rest assured, at least the first few times, you'll find yourself facing the brown golem in no time. Yes, because the first game of Morsels is a nightmare. For killer video games has no real onboarding phase. These are tutorials to explain how to tackle the travel, and everything has to be tested firsthand. We're not even told how the morsels work, so let's start with them because the creatures are the heart of the game. Ideally, you start with the Gamola and Herbola. The former is a little pink creature that shoots bubbles horizontally and vertically. The latter is a daisy that shoots two projectile diagonally at the same time. Each morsel has the hearts, which indicate heart of the special move and experimental bar. The latter is to focus on the game most original ideas, as in any video game. When you raise your characters, you little monsters can evolve into a more powerful form by accumulating enough experience. But be careful with the celebrations, it also means that they about to die. Upon reaching their second evolutionary form, monsters immediately become better. They are generally larger and attacks deal more damage. At this point, however, one of the game's fewest text screens warns up on the inevitable evolution marks for a definitive step forward: old and age death. Our Moses will continue to gain experience, and once it reaches its maximum level again, it will die. At some point, it's best to have a replacement on the game will be our. Frustration aside, the idea is very successful. It forces the player not to rely on the single monsters that is stronger than the others, but to rotate the available team members. It also allows you to party frequently, since many Morsels cards are found during the game, and it's best to keep them all in mind. So let's talk about the levels. Morsels doesn't tell you, but the main objective is to find a staircase leading to the next floor, eliminate the enemies around, and climb it up. Many other roguelites, the game isn't organized into rooms, but into areas where everything seems to conspire against you to kill you. Also face it, aggressive enemies, lasers, and bullets that take the turn in game bullet hell. And there's the things that don't want to kill you, but seems just as threatening, aggressively shaped, powered up with the cryptic descriptions. Makeshift weapon that will make you regret using them when you realize friendly fire. This is your places ahead. The act of the shields can be save your life from the next hit. Everything has to be experienced and interpreted before you understand how it works. Well, what do I say? Also playing a significant role in the confusion that grips the player in the style of Furkula has chosen to represent Morsels. The video game applies a filter to the image that simulates a cathode ray tube screen, adding to an already overly simulated artistic direction and decidedly misleading design. It's possible to remove the filter from the options and make the picture a little bit clearer, but Morsels remains a video game whose screens and constantly intuited with bullets, power-ups, enemies, and scenery elements to point that it's downright difficult to the read of the situation. It's not uncommon for you to take the damage and struggle to understand what hit you. How many morsels cards have you seen shatter into the thousand pieces without even knowing why? So roguelike has never seen before, combining a grotesque of the blinding of the ASOC with some of the mechanics in video games will collect creatures like Pokemon. Morsels are fascinating creatures evolving in a couple of the days, and you will get into it. So let's talk about cons and pros. These are awesome, each with their own mechanics, lots of power-ups. And what do I don't like? The screen is often difficulty to read because of the colors, and it takes a lot of patience to learn how it works. So definitely for those who are bored and don't know what to do on these long weekends or whatever you have free time, I strongly recommend you to play Morsels. This is the one of the best games I ever played after the Hades 2. As you know, it took me a long time to leave that game because it was so good, and this one is also good, but a little bit different. So, hit the comment section below and let me know what you think about. Bye.